It took the threat of a lawsuit to do it, and Mayor Dinkins now says full service will be restored on the Staten Island ferry for now. The action follows a lawsuit filed earlier today by the Staten Island Borough President Guy Molinari. The lawsuit alleged that the city had failed to give 30 days notice of service cutbacks as required by the city charter. Mayor Dinkins agrees and says full service will be restored for at least 30 more days before any more cutbacks.
A group of Long Island business people charging that federal banking rules are choking their economies, and they've taken their case to Washington. New York Newsday reporting 17 local business leaders have met with Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan to ask him to loosen up current banking regulations. They say the rules have forced banks to cut back on loans, which is in turn hurting the business community and preventing an economic recovery.
One of Long Island's favorite sons was honored today, not just as a big shot, but as a humanitarian. Drew Scott pays a visit to Cold Spring Harbor and finds it's very much in a Billy Joel state of mind.
As school kids called the Northport Caroliers sang one of his hit songs, it was evident from the cheers and smiles this was Billy Joel Day in the town of Huntington, and politicians praised his activism and support for Long Island.
But the Long Island fishermen were threatened with extinction, and their life was threatened, the very way of livelihood. Who brought that to national attention and helped them with relief by the song The Down East Alexa? Billy Joel.
Billy Joel, it was pointed out, was the first to support beleaguered Long Island fishermen, scallopers, and clammers, the first to assist teens contemplating suicide, first to write about Vietnam vets, and the first entertainer to have a town park on Long Island named in his honor.
We shouldn't forget that we are an island. We are all bound together by the fact that we are not just an appendage of New York City, which gets all the attention. We're islanders, and we should be proud of it and never forget it.
Yeah. Some in Huntington, including Town Supervisor Stephen Ferraro, however, objected to recognizing Joel, but Scott Sutherland and others who conceived the idea of naming the park say it's an honor the piano man has earned through his humanitarian service.
You know, his music is such a wide variety. It's for young and old. It's great, you know.
I hope we can all strive to preserve it for as beautiful a place as it is. And thank you very much.
Billy Joel wondered out loud, why would they name a park after him while he was still alive? Well, Huntington town politicians reminded him few entertainers have done more for Long Island and for the town of Cold Spring Harbor than Billy Joel. From Cold Spring Harbor, Drew Scott, Channel 11, News at 10.
The Billy Joel Park might be nice, but it does not have a fountain that even comes close to this. Take a look. This is the famed Trevi Fountain in Rome. The city flipped a switch and turned it on last night for the first time in years after it underwent extensive renovation.
That's where the 3 coins in a fountain are there?
Let's go there. That's where, yeah, that is where it is.
Okay. Still ahead, we'll tell you why this weather is very bad for your health.
Yes, indeed it is. We'll see if there's any relief in Bob's forecast for us tonight. Plus, our man at the movies, Jeffrey Lyons, reviews the new release Dutch, starring Ed O'Neill. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hey folks, how are you? This is Glendora, and here's today's joke. Betty was asked, why do you always take your paycheck to the bank? And Betty says, cause it's too little to go by itself. Say folks, do you have a business and want to increase sales? Try television advertising. Call Glendora TV Ads. We have TV ads for as low as $1,500, including airtime and making the videotape. So if you have a good product, let people know so they can give you their money instead of the competition.
Big news from the Money Store. Home equity loans as low as 8.5%.
Phil Rizzuto here for the Money Store with the great summer special for qualified homeowners. Now get a fixed-rate home equity loan as low as 8.5%. That's right, 8.5%. And your low rate is locked in for the life of the loan. Use the money to pay off your bills, make home improvements, buy a new car. It's up to you. Call 1-800-LOAN-YES. The Money Store, where America goes for money.
We all know what the group of 7 men did during their meetings in London the past couple of days. But what about the group of 7 women? They did some very important things, too, as Rick Salinger reports.
She has been crowned the undisputed star of the sideshow, Milo Mulroney, wife of the Canadian Prime Minister Brian Mulroney. The coronation by the British tabloids, which have splashed her photo all over page 1 and dubbed her Magnificent Milo. The sideshow is the one involving the wives of the world's most powerful men. While their husbands are busy trying to solve the world's problems, they are led on a tour of the host city in this most exclusive women's club.
I really begin to feel I have real friends now. We had state visits and we in the country, and they're very good friends, these ladies.
The wives have toured London by boat, by foot through the Royal Botanic Gardens at Kew, and backstage at the good in the while the G7 paid little attention to the AIDS crisis in their meetings, Barbara Bush, accompanied by for AIDS at the Royal Middlesex. At the Royal Middlesex.
Camcorder 1, recording audio on tape 2M. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
What are you doing?
Office, and it's probably the most reliable.
Oh, okay.
And this is this community.
Trying to make this take 2M work. I'll see if tape 2M will work. So I have to count 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. July the 17th, 1991. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now play back this test. Coming off of Route 1, East Post Road in Rye, New York. This is a test, okay? This is a test on July the 17th, 1991, Thursday. We're having piles of problems. We're having a power problem. We're having an audio problem. We're having a tape jamming problem. We're having a videotape problem and a camcorder problem. But we're testing. This is camcorder 1, and we're testing tape 2M, and it seems to be recording fine. Now let's see if it will play back. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40.
Rabbits.
This is Open Arms at Grace Church in White Plains. And this is July the 25th, 1991, 7 p.m.
Wardens and vestry of Grace Church, we welcome the board of GCC, the staff and directors of Open Arms, a well-deserved and needed shelter in White Plains, Open Arms. Father Peter is upstairs lecturing, as is his calling by the bishop, on things which went on in the General Convention. He was there in order that monies could be continued for things like shelters, and so he is reporting to the parish. His interest in having a praise for all that you have done for us. We thank you for the past year, for the gifts and donations of our many benefactors, for those who gave of their time, talent, and treasure, and for the love of all persons known and unknown. We thank you for our Open Arms family, for the loving care which surrounds us on every side. We give thanks to God our Father for all his gifts so freely bestowed upon us. For the board of Grace Church Community Center, staff, volunteers, donors, and all other benefactors. And for leisure to rest and play. For the ability to seek after the truth, freedom of our present. Those who have gathered tonight to honor those persons who have us to bring Open Arms at this juncture. We believe that those persons who have extended themselves some of our guests that I feel came out this evening and are perhaps special guests. And in the category of special guests, I include everyone here. But I would like to mention a few names of people that always like to know who's here. Senator Susie Oppenheimer is here. Mary Ann Keenan, one of our councilwomen.
dear friends, a very greetings to all those in attendance for the second annual dinner.
Greetings from the governor.
This is a time of pride for the members of the tour who have seen alumni program graduate for permanent housing largely because of Ron Mitchell and his support from the 40 churches and synagogues in the area. The skilled staff is also to be commended at this well-deserved celebration. Best wishes as you mark this milestone for continued success in your important endeavors, and it's signed, Mario M. Paul.
I cannot say that hardly my efforts. I'm just one part in a large picture. All of us who are here tonight are responsible on success.
White Plains, New York. Rivera, who is the Deputy Director of Operations for Open Arms. How do you think things are going, Margarita?
Oh, the shelter at Open Arms, it's going very well. We have many men that are ready to move out, and unfortunately, because of the lack of housing, you know, they're still staying at the shelter.
And how do you think the dinner's going tonight?
The dinner, it's going great. Many of our volunteers have shown up, and including our alumni, which are men that have graduated from the shelter. And it's just great to see everyone here tonight.
Well, that's nice. Well, Margarita, thank you very much for being on a chat with Glendora.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
How do you think it's going?
I think it's going fine.
Yeah.
Better than I expected.
Is it really, George?
Yes, ma'am, it sure is.
Yeah, how long you been in preparation of the dinner?
Since yesterday, 9 o'clock in the morning. For the hors d'oeuvres and dinner and everything.
Yes, yes.
We've been going at it hard.
Yes, thank you, George. Good
You're
for
welcome.
you.
It's been a pleasure.
That's vegetarian.
Excuse me. I'd like to say that Leon Diaz just began a new job with the city of White Plains.
reference, you know, for a lot of things in my life that, you know, I did, you know, my background.
With it again Thursday morning, and all day Wednesday it was extremely painful. You see, what has happened is that a virus got into the eyelid here, and this virus starts reproducing, and this virus starts drinking all the water in the eyelid, and this virus starts eating the tissue, and then your body sends out antibodies to fight the virus, so you have a regular Persian Gulf War going on in your eyelid, and everything swells, and when the eyelid swells, then it scrapes the eyeball, and the eyeball turns crimson, and it gets so bad that you can't even wash it out with warm water. It hurts so badly. And so that's the way it was Wednesday, and then Thursday. And Friday morning, it was the same, and the pain was getting excruciating. They had put rocks over the entrances to the beehives. This is July 31st, 1991, Wednesday, 5:15 p.m. Glendora doing a commercial on the 10 o'clock news on WPIX TV channel 11, New York. And this was in November, folks, of 1990. And it was an unusual and an interesting commercial, and it was very entertaining. Mitch Broder called Glendora and wanted to do a feature on it. He talked about this, folks, off and on in December 1990. 1991. Remember what we did last August the 1st, 1990? We went up to North Salem and we interviewed William Randolph Hearst Jr. and Austin Hearst. It's very sad to report that Austin Hearst died in June of this year. And now we're at the new $19 million repair shop of Metro North. And the president of Metro North, Donald N. Nelson, is going to tell you about this here in a chat with Glendora. Metro North, North White Plains, maintenance. Donald N. Nelson, who's the president of Metro North. Hi, Donald. How are you? Now tell us what this is over here. This is the new facility?
You want me to be answering you now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, that is
That's...
Okay, let me give it to you again. Right. Donald, this is the new facility, the one that cost $19 million?
That's correct. That is a new facility constructed for the maintenance of track machinery.
Track machinery?
Machinery used for the repair of track and bridges primarily, but as well some of our highway vehicles which we use for the repair of structures.
And how many miles of track do you have, Donald?
We have 652 miles of track.
Wow.
Maintained by roughly 200 pieces of heavy track equipment and many smaller components, all of which get maintained at this facility.
Isn't that something? What are we looking at here?
That is the first of the 4 new maintenance facilities constructed in North White Plains. That is the electric car maintenance facility. That is where we maintain electric passenger cars at North White Plains.
Up here. And what is this we're looking at, Donald?
That's just a storehouse.
That's a storehouse?
Material storage for all the shops in this complex.
Materials, yeah. And who are all these nice people over here, Donald?
These nice people represent 2 different departments. We have the Ed Whitney, who will turn around. He is the
Ed.
Facility manager for the mechanical department and runs a car shop and a freight car shop and a paint shop. And next to him is Bill Duke, who's the manager of the new facility we're discussing. Next to him is Al Cicery, who is a general foreman in the car shop. And Mr. Uke, who works for Billy Duke, running the maintenance away equipment repair shop.
I see. And who's this young man over here?
That's Dan Brooker. He's up here to see you. Public affairs.
Hi, Brooke. I mean, Dan.
We're walking towards the maintenance of way equipment repair facility.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What is this, Donald?
This machine is called a ballast regulator.
Ballast regulator.
It goes down the track and ensures that the ballast is uniformly applied on both sides of the track so that we maintain track stability.
Come on up closer where you can hear. Donald, what was that you were saying? Good railroading requires state-of-the-art equipment.
I said good railroading begins with good track. Good track begins with good equipment, quality control procedures. And in this day of high tech, a lot of equipment that is run by computers. So it also requires a highly trained labor force to operate this machine.
What are these?
These are just forklift trucks. They're standard items to move material around the shop floor, such as motors and things like that. We have in the corner of the shop a motor rebuild facility, including a dynamometer which can test rebuilt motors.
And what are all these nice places up there?
Those are offices for the management of the shop, facilities for the employees, lunchroom and that sort of thing.
What are those cute little cubby holes they can come and look out?
Those are the offices.
I see.
And the welfare facilities.
Yeah.
So they can see what's going on in the shop floor. And the shop has an overhead crane, as you see, that can pick up these machines and set them to the side.
This is the overhead crane?
No, it's down at the end of the shop.
Oh, we're coming down to that.
It moves back and forth on the shop. Is able to pick up to 50 tons, 50-ton machine, and set it on the side, such as that one. It can be worked on the side while we are still utilizing the tracks running in and out of the shop.
It says Donald Nelson, President, Metro North.
That way I can't get lost.
Are we going to see any hand trucks?
No hand trucks.
When were the last hand trucks used?
I can't tell you. I haven't seen any here at Metro North for 8 years.
See all this new things.
It is. It is, particularly when you've spent your career in the railroad like I have, and the bankruptcies and the poor equipment we had to work with, and the poorly maintained track.
Yes,
all of that is gone at Metro North. It's history.
Oh, that's great. How long were you building this facility and getting it operational?
This facility took about 2 years. It went operational on May the 1st.
This is in North White Plains, folks, right off of the Bronx River Parkway, just before you get to Virginia Road. Okay, now what are we looking at this crane?
This is called a camper.
Okay, wait. Say that again, please. I'll stay here and you folks stay there.
This is probably the most important machine used in a track gang. It's called a tamper.
A tamper, T-A-M-P-E-R?
That's right, and its function is to tamp the ballast under the ties in such a way that the track is perfectly level and smooth and well supported.
Wow.
The work is performed by those tongs, those tamper heads. Go down and vibrate at high speed.
Yeah.
Tie is pinched together, the track is lifted, the ballast is squeezed under the tie, the track is lined and set back in place.
Boy, what does something like that cost, Donald?
This machine costs about $250,000, $300,000. And that machine can tamp, surface, and line about 1 mile of track a day.
Really?
It's operated by one man, and it is a computer assisted.
That?
Well, the old machines were not computer assisted, so that a lot of the finished track would have imperfections in it. It'd be a 1/4 inch low here, 1/4 inch high there, because it was all done by eyeball.
Oh, all done by eyeball.
On the experience of the operator. Now the operator can tell the computer what the parameters are, and the computer will guide the machine so that the finished product is uniform.
Wonderful. Is that you were telling us about North White Plains?
I was saying that North White Plains is the second largest terminal on the railroad, the largest being Stamford.
Oh, really?
And to the east is the layover yard, which is a new yard which went in service about 4 years ago. And we lay over 126 or more cars every night in that yard. They get inspected, cleaned, serviced, and so on.
Wow. How many acres do you have up here, Donald? Do you know?
No, I don't.
Of all this?
Well, the new facilities, I think they're great. They really represent a big difference from the way we used to conduct our business. It's made things a lot more comfortable. And
ways you really improved.
Yes.
And what do you think of it?
I think it's great. It's like coming out of the dark ages. If you were to see what we worked in the past, this is a great modern facility, which makes everything easier for the mechanics to work on, for our machines to come in and out on a timely basis, and the work will get done much quicker with this facility.
You're really thrilled with it?
Oh, very much so, yes. We're all excited about it.
Right. And your name was what?
Mr. Lova Borischuk.
Well, thank you. And what do you think of it, Mr. Cicero?
I think it's great compared to what we had. We should get a lot more production, and morale is really improved.
I bet, yeah.
Tremendously.
And your name is?
Cicero.
Cicero. And what do you think of it, Mr. Whitney?
I think it's marvelous. If you worked all the years I have out in the fresh air and out in the sun, and no covers, no lights, rain and snow, it's fabulous.
You would be thrilled with it, Donald Nelson. Is there anything else you want to tell the folks?
No, I would only say that we are proud of this facility and the employees of Metro North who are providing a superior service now, and I think the investment of taxpayer dollars in this facility will make that job easier for us, and the result, I think, will be felt by the customers.
Okie doke. I'll think of you every time I pay my New York State MTA surcharge.
Good.
On my telephone bill.
All right.
Okay.
We can use it.
Okay, Donald Nelson. Thanks for being on a chat with Glendora.
My pleasure.
North White Plains, everybody. Take care. From the Bronx. That's the way they do it in the Bronx.
Glendora?
You're on tape. Go ahead. This is Ralph Romano, Ira.
Would you please pick up the phone?
This is Ralph Romano, Ira.
Please pick up the phone. Please pick up the phone.
The time is 7:10 p.m. And we're just going to have a meeting with Mr. Birnbaum. And we're just going to have a meeting. Now, Ira, there's not a person here. There's not one person here. There's nobody here to use the studio. And another thing, Ira, I've got their book. I found it in the wastebasket. Their book from last year, and you ought to see it. It's empty half of the time. And you've been paying these people, and they've been putting in the wrong hour. And I found everything that they scheduled last year. I found it in the wastebasket. I've just been waiting to show it to you. Now you can see, Ira, it's 7:10 p.m. There's not one person here. Not one person is in this studio. And my program could have been all done by now on VHS. You ought to see this guy walk around with his jail keys. See, not a person is here. What do you think of this lounge chair in the office? Isn't that something? You ought to see him sound asleep in it.
Profitable relationships developing, and professional relationships continuing from that.
Network.
Employees of Westchester Country Club who live in the community surrounding here, Harrison, Portchester, Rybrook, wherever it might be, all have an increased earnings because of the extra work developed from that. Certainly there's additional revenues developed throughout the whole community, and you have a multiple effect with the dollar. Every dollar earned is spent again in the community. That type of an aspect. Certainly the hotels and the restaurants benefit tremendously. Quite often find all the hotels sold out during that particular week. Westchester County.
You don't see that too often.
No, Westchester County, in all of its advertising that I've seen, claims to be one of the golfingest counties in the country, and claims a quality of life generated from golf, and this is certainly one of the major features that illustrates that to the country, if not to the world, and I think that they gain significantly from that in that county PR.
Do you have a card, Ted?
A business card?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have it on you?
Yes. I think it, back to the hospitals a little bit, the whole event increases the awareness of the community in general of the need for the hospitals to be supported, and it's a good avenue in which they can do that.
Gee, really? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 testing. This is office 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 testing. Pull. Chance to refresh your memory.
And I refer to you as Glendora?
I'm Glendora, and it's a chat with Glendora.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be on Manhattan Cable TV, UA Columbia, and Cablevision. Manhattan Cable TV. We'll call you and give you the dates. Okay. Manhattan Cable TV, UA Columbia, and Cablevision. Okay. Okay, I think maybe you up here, right there, yeah, right about,
Are the notes going to bother people?
No, they won't even show.
Okay, you're going to catch from here?
Yeah, that's all. Just,
jacket open
no, I would shut the jacket. Yeah, that looks better. That's a very good shot, Ted. Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sports and Grounds, Westchester Country Club. Hi, Ted. How are you?
Hi, Glendora. Fine, thank you. Welcome to Westchester.
Oh, thank you. The 25th golf tournament that you had here, PGA, it would really benefit Harrison residents, would you say?
Oh, certainly. The Buick Classic is a wonderful sporting event that we're very proud to host at Westchester Country Club. Number of benefits, of course. I don't know if you want me to enumerate them at this time.
Oh, yes, if you would.
Sure. The community hospitals, I think, are the prime beneficiaries of the charity, and of course, residents of Harrison or of any of the neighboring communities benefit from well-run hospitals that receive the funds from this tournament. Definitely, there's no question but what the national television exposure to the world press is very beneficial to. It's a wonderful thing that's being developed by our tournament. Harrison residents, Portchester residents, Rybrook residents, and many of the other neighboring communities all get together with an opportunity for real positive contribution to their favorite charity, or in particular to the charity of the hospitals. Volunteer hours are quality hours, often with opportunities to meet other quality people who have volunteered their time. And quite often some very strong professional relationships are established through these volunteer hours. It's an excellent opportunity. Employees of Westchester community and Westchester Country Club in general all benefit from the tournament with additional earnings, and as you can quite imagine, these earnings can be positioned back through the community with dollars being spent in that to fold in the restaurants, in the motels, in the hotels of the area. I think quite often during the week of the tournament, hotels are actually sold out because of the tournament. I think that's a very significant benefit.
Yeah, I'll say.
The community has that very significant opportunity to gain financially. Westchester County often claims to be one of the golfingest counties in the country, and I've often seen advertisements to that effect, hoping to attract more business to Westchester County, hoping to attract more residents to the county, and quality of life is something that I think we in Westchester County are very proud of, and golf contributes to that significantly, and that is advertised by virtue of the exposure of our tournament within the community, and so the residents of Harrison all gain from that additional exposure in my mind.
Ted, where are we now? At the 18th hole?
We're at the 18th hole of the tournament. Normally it's played as the 9th hole on the west course for Westchester Country Club, but during the tournament it's reversed. The nines are reversed to allow a better finishing hole for.
This is camcorder playing back. Take 2M. Why is it playing it back and playing it back with lines going through it and flashes of white every now and then? Why? This is a test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 testing. Why is it doing that?
$1 million, I believe, over the last few years to the local hospitals. And, I think it's very worth everybody's while to participate.
I think you're sold on it. Well, Ted Horton, we want to thank you for telling the folks that.
Glendora, thank you.
Take care, Ted.
You bet. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. The bleachers.
Oh, that's where they were?
Yes. And corporate sponsors, etc.
Oh, that's where they were, along here.
Special seating here.
And where was CBS telecasting?
Well, CBS telecasts from about 15 different locations, but really they have about 7 towers for official on-camera seating. They have mobile cameras that will follow the golf around throughout the property.
And the big tower was right there, huh?
The main tower for the 18th green was right there.
Isn't this one of the prettiest blossoms that you ever, beautiful folks, isn't this one of the prettiest blossoms you ever saw? Guess what it is? It's an onion. That's an onion blossom. Look at it. And here's another one. See all the leaves? And then this beautiful flower comes. I have two Glendora on channel 11, WPIX TV, New York, every Wednesday night on the 10 o'clock news. She's doing a spot every Wednesday, and it has a good joke in it. So, third announcement. Every Sunday, never missing a one, I come to this sanctuary to worship our great God. To me, it is just that, a sanctuary, and you keep turning it into a business hall. I don't think you should do that. That's what Archibald Hall is for. And if you think you're going to lose people by going from here to there, then the people cannot be very sincere about running their church. Fourth announcement. At every meeting, you tell me how poor this church is, and I just don't believe it anymore. You pay Kathy Rumry $12,000 a year, you pay a minister $63,000 a year, and you pay a telephone bill, which is a ripoff, $3,500 a year instead of $1,600 a year. The Board of Trustees has done nothing about how to cut this telephone bill, even after they've been told twice it is twice as high. I mean, even after they've been told it is twice as high as it should be. I stopped making weekly donations to this congregation, to the collection plate, many months ago, and to AT&T and New York Tel, with all due respect to you, Chet, and to Bob Glancy. Here is how the telephone bill should be cut to size. This analysis I made in February. It took me 4 weeks to do it. I really don't know if I can read it. meet Brian Coleman, who's a Deputy Director of the National Council. What do you do, Brian, as a Deputy Director?
Well, as Deputy Director, I'm pretty much in charge of all operations at the Council, which means that we are providing all kinds of services ranging from prevention and education to intervention services, drinking driving programs, and training professionals to be chemical dependency counselors in the state of New York. So pretty much my role is to oversee all the operations, do supervision, and a lot of administration. Our staff is pretty multifaceted, well-trained, and my job is pretty easy because they're so qualified.
Brian, you seem to like what you do.
Oh, I love what I do.
Yeah,
As a
good
matter
for
of fact, I just happen to get a paycheck for something that I like doing.
National Council on Alcoholism and Drug, what is it? Drug
National
what?
Council on Alcoholism and Other Drug Addictions.
And Other Drug Addictions. Thank you, Brian Coleman.
Thank you very much.
Johnson.
Hey folks, these people were over here from England. They have a TV production company, and they saw Chat with Glendora on Manhattan Cable TV, and they decided to use some of it over in England. So they asked for a clip, and I made them a whole bunch of jokes, and then they chose one of the jokes and they put it on television on Channel 4 in England, clear across the country, and 3 million people saw it. Now, we're going to have a game, you and I. I'm going to show you these jokes. I don't forgotten how many there are. And see if you can pick the joke that they picked. And if you can, if you pick the right joke, I'll give you $5. But you'll have to call, when you see the jokes, you call up and you say which joke it is and leave your telephone number and your name. And then after this program is on, and first of all it has to be on in Manhattan Cable TV and Paragon Cable TV. Then the next week it's on UA Columbia Cable TV. And the third week it's on Cablevision. And then after the program plays on Cablevision, that next day, then you call me up, and if you have the joke right, I'll mail you the $5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You want to turn off the light and turn off the camera a second? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is program 1179, and it will be on Manhattan Cable July 3rd, and it will be on UA Columbia Cable July the 9th, and then it will be on Cablevision Harrison and Port Chester on July the 17th. So July the 18th, the prizes will be awarded. Cut. This is our new little kitten. This is little Valerie. And Valerie's a very formal little kitten. Can you see she's always dressed up in her tuxedo? Yeah, right?